Hey everyone, and welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to show you how to paint a cute spring bunny. So let's do it! Do you want a bunny kiss? Okay, so to start, I'm just going to go through my materials. First, I have my Winsor Newton Cotman watercolors. I have my Arches watercolor paper, I have my water, my paper towel, and I have my brushes. On hand, I have Princeton snap brushes that are size 12, size 6, and a size 2. Okay, so before I start painting, I find the image on Pinterest usually, or Google or whatever, of what I want to paint. So in this case, we're painting a little bunny. So I found this cute picture of this little bunny that I took a screenshot of, and I'm going to be using as a reference photo. And then what I do is I try and look at it and I sketch my best version of it. I've already done a really light outline just to make sure it's kind of what I want it to look like. But I'll go over it just to show you how I did it. Okay, so you start off with the head. I always start off with the head. I do a little curve right here for the top of the head. And then it's gonna go down, a little curve in, and I'm gonna erase these lines too before I start painting, making it really light again. But I'm just showing you how I sketched it out. And then it goes out a little bit further than the head here. And then there's like a little dip coming up here, just a little one. Then another big kind of cheek, like so. Then you're gonna have one ear that's facing out, so you go up, down. Sorry if I'm not the best at explaining how to draw it. That's not really my specialty, but I'm trying. And then this one's kind of facing this way. So it's gonna go out a bit. Have a little bit of the inner ear there. And then the way this bunny's positioned, you can see the butt behind. So right kind of like a little bit under where the ear is, you're gonna come out, do a big fluffy leg butt, come down, and then right from kind of where this dip is, you're gonna come out and do the other side. Actually, maybe a bit more like that. Come down here, and then from where this cheek is, you're gonna come down and do the front little bunny paw. And up, and there's like this little dip right there. And this paw is kind of back, so it's a little shorter. Then you're gonna do the big foot. Like that, and then this other big furry foot here. Now, as you see, the edges are kind of straight, and because a bunny is nice and fluffy, we're gonna erase these lines and create that fluffiness when we start painting. And then the nose, it's gonna do a little V for the nose, and a little line, and kind of a little line where the mouth is. Okay, and then the eye is directly under this part of the ear, that furry part of the ear, and then kind of parallel to where this dip is. So the other eye is on that side. You just don't see it because it's a side view. You're gonna do kind of like a little teardrop shape with a flat bottom, like that. Okay, so now I'm just gonna go back and I'm gonna erase everything so I can still see it, but not enough that it will show up, because it's hard to, you can't really erase once you've painted over it. So the lighter the line, the better, but as long as you can still see where you're going. The nose, I don't mind as much because I usually put a bit of darkness there. Same with the eye, but just at least for the edges of where the fur is gonna be, I try to erase just so you can get that furry texture coming out, because it's not really a straight line. So you can still see it. Just make it a little lighter so it's not as obvious that there's pencil underneath. Okay. Okay, so now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pick my color for my bunny. The bunny in this picture is brown. I'm thinking maybe I'll do a gray and white bunny. So I'm gonna take my black color. I'm just gonna put it here. I'm making a really light wash of black so it's gray, right? Really, really light wash. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take this light wash and I'm just gonna go over the bunny where all the furry parts are gonna be. Not really over that little V where the nose is. I'm gonna make that kind of like pinkish after. And not in the eye, just around where the fur would be. Okay, so this is our first kind of layer of our bunny. And now we're gonna add some darker shading. So the shadows on the bunny are the parts that wouldn't really touch the light. So under the chin, you know, under the belly where the paws are, any kind of dark areas. So I'm just gonna take a bit more black, make it a tad bit darker, not too much darker. And I'm just going to touch under some places, maybe over here by the head, the back, definitely down here where the paws are, underneath here. And I know it looks a little odd right now, but once you start adding the detail, it will look better. Maybe a bit under the eye, actually. And it's actually good because this, the way the watercolor kind of spreads out makes it look a little textured like fur. Really dark parts are under the belly, between the legs. Over the paws. And under this chin. Okay. I'm gonna put some there. Okay. Doesn't look the greatest right now, but it will. Okay. So now what you're gonna do is you're gonna take your smaller brush and you're just gonna kind of flick. It's dry, it's a dry brush, and you're just gonna gently flick that wet paint out to kind of give a fuzzy edge. So it still has to be a little bit wet, and it doesn't have to be too pronounced. It's just you don't want that straight edge of around the bunny. So just make sure your paint is still a little bit wet. It doesn't have to be crazy wet. Like that, and just makes it a little bit fuzzier. Okay. Then I'm gonna go back and add some pink in for the ear here. Really light pink. Maybe make it a bit of peachy pink, tiny bit of yellow. I'm just gonna really light wash. And if it runs into the ear a bit, I think that's fine, in my opinion. And then a tad bit for the nose. Now just keep in mind that the gray layer is still wet, so it's gonna bleed into it. If you wanna wait until it dries, you can do that. I'm just gonna mop up a bit because it should just be on the nose. I should have just waited, but I didn't. I'm just gonna push this around, maybe it can be a bit more whiter here. Like that, and then what you do is you wait for it to dry. I'm gonna use my heat tool just to dry it faster for the purpose of this video, but you can just let it dry before you start doing the next part. Okay, so for the next part, we're just adding to that fur to make it, and kind of defining the lines of where the head is, because right now it just kind of looks like a blob. So we're gonna take our gray, and we're just gonna do some furry lines, kind of where the head is. So it's not a sharp line of where the head is, but you're just gonna go where that part was, and you're just gonna do little fuzzy bits. And the lighter wash you have, the less it will be seen, but it will still give texture if it's still there, right? Does that make sense? I don't know. So right where the nose is, the hair kind of goes up there. So maybe you're gonna, I want it lighter though. Have the hair going up. And once we add the eyes and stuff, it's really gonna pop out and it won't look as weird, I promise. Add some of this fuzz on the ears, sorry. Ears. Where that front paw was coming down, make sure you get that line. Make a little dip for the top of the paws here where they kind of bend. Get a bit darker under where that chin is. And then another little crease where the paw kind of bends. You don't have to put these lines all over the bunny. You know, you can leave some parts just blank. I just try and get the edges at least, just so you can see the definition between where the paws are, where the head is, like that. Okay, I'm gonna go back in with my pink just to get a bit more definition with that nose. Right there. I'm gonna take my dark gray and I'm just gonna do kind of where the lip is. So now it's running into the pink. Just gonna mop that up because the black ran into the pink. Sorry. Okay. My iPad turned off. Okay. And then what we are gonna do is we are going to add a bit darker parts over here. Sorry for the pink ear. Okay. And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna do the eye. So make sure it's the area around the eye is dry, completely dry, because if you start doing the black and it touches it a bit, it's gonna bleed out into the gray and it's gonna look a little weird. You want the eye to be defined because that really helps the bunny look really cute. So you go up and then a flat bottom. And you're gonna go down like that. And you're gonna have you can have a little flick here with the eyelash if you like. And you're just gonna fill in the whole eye. Like that. Okay. And now just looking at it, I feel like it could use a bit more definition. So I am gonna take some darker gray again and just go around parts that I feel like need a bit more definition. So like around the head, I want it to be a bit more defined. Around the ear, like the outline of this bunny. Okay. Okay. And then the last part of this, what I do is I always use white ink. So I have Dr. P.H. Martin's Bleed Proof white ink. You could also use white gouache or white watercolor if you have it. I don't buy white watercolor. I don't use white to lighten up colors. I let water do that. So I have this white ink when I want to add some white detail to things. But if you have like a white pen or whatever you want to use, you can use that. And I'm just going to add some highlights. Maybe around here. And the edges too. On the chest. Legs. Just to add a bit more fur. I'm going to add some white whiskers. That was way too thick. It's okay. It's all good. And then last but not least, I'm going to add a little bit of white on the eye, but the eye has to be completely dry. So I'm just going to dry that quickly. Make sure this eye is completely dry. I'm just going to add a little bit of sparkle to the eye, like that. And that's it. And there's your cute little bunny. Thank you guys so much for watching my video. I hope you liked it and I hope you learned something. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel and follow me on Instagram for more. Have a great day, guys. Bye. Bye.